Good morning, everyone. So it's Friday. It is December. It's the month that we call December. It's the year that we call 2025. It's the day that we call Friday. And what the heck is the date? Let me look. It's the date that we call the 12th. So I was on a couple days ago. I missed yesterday. I was on Wednesday. I missed yesterday because we had a bit of an ice event the night before. And I chose to call my sister and make sure everything was okay over there yesterday morning. And that took up my time that I would have been coming on here. And so I chose to do that. We ended up talking, and that took up some of my time in the morning, and then I couldn't get on throughout the day. So I made my sister a priority, obviously, right? Okay, so good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a beautiful morning. Like I said, it's the date that we call the 12th. 1 + 2 is 3. That's joy. So I hope everybody can look inside of themselves and pull up that joy vibration. It's Friday. Friday is a day that resonates with Freya. That is the feminine. That is the nurturer, the receiver, the creative side of our being, right? Our intuitive side. So I hope that everybody can get in touch with their intuition, their own inner creativity, embrace their feminine energy, find their joy. We're also in the 12th month, you guys. So that is, again, joy, right? So yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. And don't forget that this is the year 2025. So if you do the numerology on the year 2025 and the energy that we're writing on paper, the energy that we're using all the time throughout this entire year, 2 + 2 is 4, + 5 is 9. 9 is ending a cycle. So we're in a year of endings, right? So everybody's seeking this new beginning while we're encompassing an energy of endings. So I just wanted to remind everybody of that when we're in a 9 year. So things will come to pass. The stage is getting set for endings to happen. That's the energy that we're working with in the year of 2025. And so in your own personal chart, depending on what your own personal chart is, the energy of endings for the universal energy that's happening can aid you in whatever your personal year is, whether it's a year of change or new beginnings or whatever. But energetically on the world stage, we're working with the energy of ending cycles. So new beginnings can't really happen in an energetic atmosphere of ending cycles. New beginnings happen once things are ended. Does that make sense? So, so I wanted to just kind of remind everybody there's a certain energy that we're all working with all the time. And we can use it to the positive or we can use it to the negative, and that's our choice. The choice is always us. It's on us. It's up to us. It starts with us, right? So I just want to remind everybody of that. I got a lot of, I've been receiving a lot of depressing, just people are depressed. And what I'm finding is that people are depressed about things that honestly don't really impact them. So they're depressed about things outside of themselves that truly don't make a difference in their own personal life. And that's giving your power away. And you'll never be happy if you're constantly seeking happiness outside of yourself. So here's an example. Let me give you an example. Not that long ago, I had someone say to me, life sucked under Biden. And I said, oh, really? Why did your life suck under Biden? Because was I impressed with the pretendency? No. No, I wasn't. Did I like the policies? No. But a lot of the shit that he was spewing never actually happened. And we all still had free choice. So, if you succumbed to getting a vaccine, that was that was your free will. I know people that left their jobs. I have a friend that had been at our hospital for 30 years, and she stood in her convictions, and she was not going to get an experimental jab, and she lost her job. And she just took the hit, and she had faith and trusted that she would be okay. And she avidly created the forward motion to find work that she could do to earn money to pay her bills that did not require her to have that job. And because she held strong in her convictions, and she also took the initiative to do the forward motion, instead of sitting and wallowing and saying, I have to get this job, I have no choice, and getting something that she was against. Or instead of sitting and wallowing and saying, I have to leave my job because I refuse to get that jab, and now all is lost and I don't have money and everything's lost. She pulled her big girl panties up, dusted herself off, and took forward motion to find a job where they weren't forcing her to do that. So things worked out for her because she made sure they did. She took the forward movement and the action while holding the positive attitude, standing in her convictions, and moving forward knowing that God had her. And that makes all the difference, right? The choice is always on us. We choose every single day how to feel, who to be, how to act, what to do, or what not to do. We choose, and our happiness can't come from outside of ourselves. Personally, my life didn't suck under Biden. Any hardships in my life are personal experiences. They're not from something external. I don't allow the external to impact me in that way. I'm not going to let somebody take my energy and my power and allow me to sit here feeling crummy, down in the dumps, depressed, desolate, like there's no hope, when that's all an illusion. It's bullshit. That world that everybody is getting so upset about is created to keep you upset. It's created to keep you manifesting negative things for them. Why would you let them? Why would you let them impact you that way? Why would you let them win? Why would you give your power away? So I've gotten a lot of negative, emotionally negative messages, and people just really depressed right now. But it's not for the reasons you might think. It's not because they're having a personal experience that is incredibly painful or hard or challenging. It's because they're looking outside of themselves at the world stage, allowing that to bring them down. And I'm just going to be frank with you all, that's bullshit. And you're never going to be happy. If your happiness depends on that crap all the time, you'll never be happy. Because you're not happy from the inside, you guys. You have to be happy from the inside. Your cup will never be filled if you're looking outside of yourself to have it filled. So, am I happier now that President Trump is in than I was when President Biden was in? No, not really. No, because my happiness doesn't stem from that. Was I tickled and did I celebrate because I would see policies happening that we weren't seeing under the Biden administration? Yes. But that doesn't make me internally happy or fulfilled. President Trump is never going to sit here and have a coffee with me. We're never going to sit and talk about life events and changes. He's not going to give me a hug when I'm grieving. He's not going to dance the jig with me when there's something to celebrate. We're not going to share stories of personal experiences, triumphs, and trials. He isn't part of my happiness. He's something I can be pleased about. I'm pleased that the person that I voted for is in. I'm pleased at some of the things that he's doing. I'm pleased about that. But my happiness, you guys, comes from within. Where does it really come from? My connection to God, first and foremost, because without that, I'd be miserable. And I think if we're not directly connecting with our Creator on a daily basis and filling ourselves with that love and that light, our cups aren't full. They're just not full. My connection to the universe and to my Creator and to my spiritual team are literally what's gotten me through some of the worst times in my life. And I have been through times where I've felt like I'm crawling through hell on my lips, trying to find the light. And the light that I saw, even though it was just a dot sometimes, was my Creator, God, the universe. And it helped me find my way. It helped me find my way. It's what kept me going. It's what kept me moving, even when I wanted to die. That love from my Creator and my love for my Creator gave me hope, gave me strength, and let me know that I could do this. And I did it, as hard as it was. And I've had many times in my life like that. That picture, my mom always had it, and she gave me one years ago, where the footprints in the sand, where, you're walking along and there's two sets of prints, but when things got really, 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 really bad, there's only one, and that's because God is carrying you. And honestly, if we're not filling ourselves, nothing's going to make us happy. You could have all the money in the world tomorrow and you still wouldn't be happy if you're not happy from within. You could have beautiful things and all this money and the perfect president and the perfect policies, and you might think all of those things will fill you up and make you happy. And for a minute, the endorphins will go off and you'll feel the rush and it will be like a form of high and you will think you are happy. And as soon as those endorphins stop flowing, you're left with yourself and an empty cup. And it doesn't matter what's going on in the world around you. If your cup is empty, you're not happy. So, I can't stress this enough. The happiness that you feel has got to come from within. The gratitude that you feel isn't based on, I'm grateful that President Trump did X, Y, or Z. It's got to be, I am grateful for the breath I am taking. I am grateful for the life I have been given. I am grateful for the challenges that I have persevered through. I am grateful for the lessons that I've learned. I am grateful for the roof over my head, even if it's freaking leaking. At least it's a roof. There are people out there that are homeless. They're homeless. No roof. No money, no job, no food. There are people out there so addicted to drugs that they'll do anything. Their morals and their values escape them so that they can get their next fix. I am grateful I am not one of them. I am grateful I have not succumbed to that. I am grateful I have a home, even though it needs all kinds of repairs. I am grateful that we were able to do some of them. I trust and I know that we will figure it out and keep the walls around us and the roof over our head. I am grateful for my sister. I'm grateful for my son. I am grateful that when it rained the other night, it didn't take all my snow, because I like looking at the snow. It brings me great pleasure. I'm grateful for my goats. I'm grateful for my animals. I'm grateful for everybody that I love. I'm grateful for all of you. I am grateful I found a really good wood guy this year and I got my wood at a discount. The gratitude I feel for that is amazing because it helps keep me warm. And there have been many years where I have struggled to stay warm. So I am grateful. I am grateful for so many things. And I'm able to find that gratitude, I believe, honestly, because of my connection to God. Because when you're constantly in connection and you're constantly pulling that light lights you up so that you find a way. You find the gratitude, you find the love, you find the joy, even when the world outside seems hard. And, if I sound like I'm giving y'all a good stern talking to, this is exactly how I would talk to my son or to my best friend and to myself in times of feeling like all is lost. So we have got to start filling ourselves up from within. You're never going to be happy. Money doesn't make us happy. Things don't make us happy. Things don't fill us up. You could have a big, beautiful castle. You know why the Hollywood people are always seeking that next big mansion? It's because they have all this money. They don't even sometimes know what to do with it all, right? They have all this money, so they're trying to fill themselves up with things. They think if they look pretty, that's going to make them happy. But then it doesn't make them happy, so they go have all this surgery, and they make monsters of themselves, seeking happiness through vanity and looks. No matter how good they look, they're still not happy. They have all this money, they've got this big, beautiful home, but they're not happy with that because the endorphins ran out, stopped pinging after they've been there long enough. So now they've got to get rid of this home and seek the next biggest thing for that rush of endorphins that makes them feel happy. But as soon as the endorphins are gone, they're sitting there with themselves not happy. So they're always seeking that next thing to make them happy. Things won't make you happy. Policies aren't going to make you happy. Even a man or a woman that loves you beyond measure and is loyal to you and would do anything for you cannot make you happy. They can't love you into happiness. You have to find that from within. It has to be found from within, you guys. So today I was going to be looking at some Black Goo stuff, and I was going to be looking at some why aren't there any arrests happening stuff. And I really feel with all of the messages that I'm getting that we first need a talk from the universe. about this internal happiness stuff. Even someone on the channel the other day, I know you're depressed, and my heart goes out to you. And we can all have those days, but you choose how you feel. So when you're receiving a message from God, guides, in the universe saying, look to the simplistic things to be grateful for, and you say, oh yes, I'm grateful that I've been lied to my whole life. You're choosing that energy. Right then, you're given an opportunity. You're given a path, right? So the universe says you can pick yourself up and you can give yourself this path. You can redirect. But you're making a choice to stay in the negative energy of, oh yeah, well, I'm grateful I've been lied to my whole life. Listen, we've all been lied to. I've been lied to my whole life. We've all been lied to. What does that have to do with your reasons for being grateful? You haven't just been lied to by the world stage. You've been lied to by people in your life. You've been lied to by yourself. You were lying to yourself the other day when you were telling yourself that there was nothing to be grateful for. So you were telling yourself the biggest lie. So you can't be happy. None of us can from anything outside of ourselves. And I want for all of you to find a spark of happiness within you. I know what a difference it's made in my life. I know what a difference it's made in other people's lives who I've watched actively use their tools to create the spark of light, to make the choice to reject the bullshit and to fill themselves internally so that they can be filled with love, joy, and happiness, even when it seems like the universe is taking a big old dump on them personally. Can it be challenging? Yes. My son has had one of the most challenging years, and he uses his tools to stay balanced, to find his joy, and to find his happiness. And that's what I do. And that's what a lot of people that I know do. That's what we all have to do. This programming to look outside of ourselves for happiness is a trick. It's the biggest lie. That is the biggest lie, you guys. That's how everybody's been tricked into being miserable. That's how everybody has been tricked into holding negative energy. That's also how you're tricked into drawing negative energy to you. And then it just whispers in your ear for you to stay there. I mean, you take back your power. Find that spark of light. You were plucked out of God. You came from love. You are love. You will go back to love. And somehow everybody's been tricked. The biggest lie is teaching everybody that their happiness comes from something external. That it's the money and the castle and the prince. And that if you have all of those things and you have the prince that loves you or the princess and the things, that you'll be happy. And that's all void of what makes us happy. Love. Filling ourselves with it. Joy. Connection to our Creator and the universe. And counting our blessings, the attitude of gratitude. This is where happiness is going to come from. Now, I could tell you all the reasons right now that my family's hearts are breaking, and we have a lot right now. We've had a rough year. But I can tell you all the reasons why I am grateful for the things that I have. And I'm even grateful for the shit we're going through, because we're learning stuff and we're We're coming back together in a way that we hadn't for a long time. And there's a lot of positives that are coming through these hardships. And as shitty as things feel, it's good to acknowledge the blessings. And there's always a blessing. In every dark thing, there's a blessing. Sometimes you have to really, 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 really look and squint your eyes to find it. But it's there. And then if you can just focus on that. Because what we're doing here, you guys, is we're living in a world of contrast where life is difficult, but it's also amazing. Life is beautiful and it's ugly simultaneously. And what we're doing here is we're coming in as spiritual beings to have a human experience, to experience the bullshit and the contrast for our soul's growth. We're not victims here. We've chosen it. We're not victims. We can save ourselves. We can get out of the savior mentality that, oh, we'll be happy when everybody saves us. That's not what we're doing here, you guys. We're here grounding heaven into earth. We're here to create change, one soul at a time. Me, you, all of us. To lift the vibration. How do we do that? By healing ourselves. Lifting our own vibration. My heart breaks for everybody that is choosing despair. Because it's a choice. And that's the biggest lie. The biggest lie is that happiness comes from anything outside of yourself. If my son decided that he hates me tomorrow and he walks away from me and never looks back, will my heart break? Oh God, yes. Will I feel pain and sorrow? Yes. That would be another loss, right? That would be another terrible, terrible, terrible loss and pain. Would I still have things to be grateful for? Yes. And I would have to focus on that while I healed through that pain and that trauma. And that pain would last with me the rest of my life because that is my child. And I know many people that have lost their children and they have had to focus on every little blessing they've got to fill themselves up and carry on, and they do. My parents had to do it. Some of my closest friends have had to do it. And they do it through faith. So, happiness comes from inside. And nothing external is going to make you happy. Because as soon as whatever it is that you seek externally happens, and the brain gives you all of these endorphins saying, happy, happy, happy. As soon as the endorphins die down, because the newness wears off, the rush is over, and then you're still just left with yourself. And your cup didn't fill because you only got an endorphin rush from outside of yourself. You weren't filled from inside, where true happiness lays. So, for all you empaths out there that say you want the world to be healed, it starts with you. You got to heal yourself. You're no good to anybody. You can't help anybody else heal if you haven't healed yourself. It starts with us. Heal ourselves, heal the world. The more light we pull in, the happier we are. The different our vibration grows, it expands. We walk upon the earth, we heal the earth. We dig in the dirt, we heal the earth. We hug somebody, we heal them. You walk into a room, you heal the room. You shift the vibration just by being you. Just by being you. It's an amazing journey, but you have to do the work. You guys all have the tools. You have the tools because I know you do because we've talked about them. We've talked about the tools. I've given tools over the years, many of them. We did a guided meditation to pull light and energy. That's on the channel. That's there. Very few people chose to do it. Very few. I'm telling you, you make a choice every day. Choose wisely. It's your happiness at stake, how you choose. It's your life. Do you really want to choose? Do you want to choose to be unhappy, or do you want to choose happiness, love, joy, peace? Because if we're always looking out there, we're never going to have internal peace. We're never going to have internal happiness. We're never going to be feeling loved. And we're never going to truly love. It has to start with us, you guys. So I've really set a lot of healing intentions. I hope that you all sit quietly and pull those in, but I can't make you do that, right? It's a choice. And maybe today you work to clean the house, clear the vibration, lift your home's vibration. Maybe today you sit and you do a meditation and you fill yourself with love and light. And maybe you seek your blessings and you write them down, and maybe you speak them out loud, and maybe you listen to some frequencies for healing, and maybe you do a little dancing, and maybe you do a little singing, and maybe you light some candles and talk to God. And maybe you shift. Or maybe you don't. But it's a choice. The choice is always ours. So I'm going to start the reading with a universal message. I've gone on and on and on, but you know what? I've had dreams. I've been given messages a lot lately in my waking life and in my dreams. Doing my work, doing my healing work at night, working on the planet, working on the things that I work on. I've been seeing things. I've been given messages in a million different ways. And the biggest message has been that I made a deal a long time ago with my God and my guides and the universe to be the messenger. And with all of the depression that I'm seeing and the sadness that I'm seeing, I really, really, really feel compelled to give the message today. And I hope that it's heard rather than falling on deaf ears. And I don't hope it for my sake, I hope it for yours. I hope it for yours because it is life-changing when you make it a point every single day to stand in the attitude of gratitude. To, no matter how bad your life feels or seems in the moment, to deliberately, to be very deliberate and intentional in your actions to state all the reasons why you are grateful. It is life-changing when you take the time to self-heal, meditate, ground, and pull light. Those two simple things can change your life. But you have to do it. Again, it's on us. It's a choice. Do we do it or do we not do it? Do we choose to continue looking at the things that deliberately make us feel not great and just keep looking and bitching and hating it and feeling more and more down? Do we choose to do that, or do we choose to say, I'm not going to look at this crap. I know it's all bullshit intended to make me feel shitty. I'm going to redirect, and I'm going to focus on the things around me. And I'm going to stand in the attitude of gratitude, and I am going to fill myself with love, and I am going to send that love out, and then I'm going to fill myself with love again, and I'm going to sit and I'm going to meditate and I'm going to activate my hands and I'm going to lay them on my heart and I'm going to self-heal and I'm going to connect to God and I'm going to pull God's light and I'm going to ground that into the earth and I'm going to pull up that healing energy of this earth and I'm going to become part of a symbiotic relationship rather than a parasitical one. And I'm going to do all of these things. I'm going to make that choice. And I'm going to do it and do it and do it until it becomes a habit. And then I'm going to keep doing it until it becomes a lifestyle. And the whole time I'm doing it, maybe I'm going to write some notes so that I can actually go back and look at how much I've improved over the last 6 months or over the last year. What path do you want to take? What are you choosing? It is all a choice. It is all a choice. All right, you guys. Let's see with one card what the universe wants to say about our journey here, looking outside of ourselves for internal peace and happiness. One more. Guard yourself. Put on your armor of God. Seek God. Move forward. Guarded, but protected in the armor of God. So what does the universe have to say? Well, the universe gives us the 7. 7 is the seeker. 7 is the seeker of truth, wisdom, knowledge. 7 is not the knowledge like this. It's that higher knowledge. It's that spiritual seeking. So the universe says, rather than looking outside of yourself, seek your highest connection. That's who you are. That's what you came from, you guys. You came from this amazing, loving, magical, incredible energy. When you connect back to your creator, and you fill yourself with the energy, which is you, which you will go back to when you die, it shifts everything. It literally does with the Chariot. Big picture. The big picture is the armor of God. Whatever you want to call it. Putting on your spiritual bubble of protection. Filling yourself with God's light. Moving on the earth. Being of the light, right? Having your human experience guarded and guided by God, creator, which you came out of, you hold inside of you, but the spark is dimmed. It's gotten so small because the world has tricked you into not believing that's who you are, because the world has tricked you into seeking outside of yourself your connection to your creator. That's what religion did. It tricked everybody into seeking from another their connection to their creator, rather than realizing that they themselves are their own direct connection. And we have the power of how much we pull that in or how much we ignore it. So, yeah, move forward in this world with your armor of God on. connecting to, seeking God with that highly spiritual number 7. 7, seek God. Seek. Seek the knowledge of God. Rather than getting on YouTube, and watching, or Rumble or whatever, and watching the bad news. Sit and connect yourself. Just connect yourself to the Creator. Be intentional. Ask that you start getting signs. Start writing things down. Ask that you get signs. Ask that you get messages only from your Creator, that which created all in creation, that loves all in creation, right? Don't start channeling entities that you don't want to channel. Be intentional. Be very intentional. But it changes everything. It changes everything, you guys. So move forward with the armor of God on. Don't let the worldly shit touch you the way it is. Don't let the dark energy win. Because when we cave into it, we're giving away our power, and they win. And I know that none of you want them to win. You certainly don't want them to win over you. So, and, don't think that I'm being harsh. This is the way I talk to myself. Worse, because I tell myself to pick up my, pick myself up, dust myself off, pull up my big girl panties, quit my whining, and use my tools that I know can help me. Because there are days that I'll find myself, bitching a little too much. And I'm like, wait a minute. Who is whispering to me right now to be in this mood? Because this generally is not how I feel. But I'm self-aware enough so that I know how I feel, how I think. I know my moods. I'm very self-aware. So it's very easy for me to, if I get on one, it doesn't take me too long before I'm going, wait a minute. Who's trying to influence me right now? And no, I don't consent to that. I do not consent to any negative outside influences, affecting my thoughts, my feelings, or how I am and behave in this world. And I redirect. And, I'll light the sage, I'll light the candles, I'll light the Palo Santo, I'll light the incense, I'll put on some frequencies, I'll sit down, I activate my hands, all of you guys can do it too. I put it on my heart, I ground into the earth, I pull the earth's energy, I go up into my highest version of self, I go up into the Christed grid, I go up into God, I pull that energy, I create a bubble of protection around myself, I fill myself with light and love, I go back to my childhood memories that made me feel joyful, I fill myself, and then I start working on filling my land, my home, my animals, protecting my land, my home, my animals. I work my way out. I end up doing the world, and then I work my way back in and fill myself again. And I'll tell you what, it makes such a difference. Like, it clears all that negative stuff, and it shifts everything, you guys. It shifts everything. But I actually have to take the time to do the work to do it. It's not going to be done for me. And I take the time to do the work to do it because it feels better than the alternative. And if I'm feeling good, then I'm good for my dog. And I'm good for my family and anybody that needs me. And I'm good for you guys. I'm in a better mood for you guys. And I'm good for the goats, and I'm good for the plants that I'm watering, and, everything benefits. It's a win-win. Everything benefits. I've lifted my vibration. I've cleared my negative energy. I've set my decrees again. I've been very intentional. I've shifted things. I feel better. I'm better for every single thing and person that comes in contact with me. So heal thyself, heal thy world. All right, I've rambled and rambled and rambled, and I'm sending you guys The healing intentions set for today are like, I mean, I've really set some healing intentions. You know, I always set the universal healing intentions for every single healing frequency that there is to come in, if you so choose, and you take the time to close your eyes, breathe it in, decree it for your highest and greatest good, for you to receive that. So that's a typical that I've done. I've brought out extra selenite, white candles, a big piece of rose quartz for love, 2 white candles for balance, cleansing, clearing, clarity, bright white creator light, and just light the spark of creator's light within all of you, but to cleanse and clear and really do its job to kind of help start picking you up. And the selenite also does all of that. Then I've got a big old piece of black obsidian sitting here with us, and that is to take care of any negativity that might be coming in. I feel like people are getting hit by negativity, and we have got to stand in our power. We have to recognize it, and we have to stand in our power and not consent to it, you guys, and do the work to push it out and pull in the light, because we are of a free will. We're of a free will world, and when we start to get down, if we allow ourselves, the ego will make us want to wallow in it. The ego will blow it up and make it seem bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And if we allow the wallowing of it, then that energy allows negative energies to come in and stick to you. And every time we still make a choice to let the ego kind of overtake us and keep us focused on all of the bullshit, these little negative entities, they love it. They love it. And so it's not really even us, but we have to be aware of it. And we have to do the work, and we have to make the shift, and we have to make the choice. And we have to understand that we're never going to be happy with all that crap. It has to come from within. So we're cleansing, we're clearing, we're purifying, we're lifting ourselves into a vibration up into those of the highest and highest of realms. We're pulling in the highest of frequencies that cosmic law will allow. We're pulling in a huge amount of love, extra help from this rose quartz. We're getting rid of the negativity with this black obsidian. We're using our tools. I've set the intentions. I've done the pep talk. I'm keeping my voice loud so the vibration will spread out there. I'm doing what I can to help lift that vibration right now. So I hope that you're all feeling it and benefiting from it. Say no to the negativity, because those entities love that. Redirect, stand in your power, don't give your power away. Redirect, use your tools, pull in all of that love and that light. Fill yourself up. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. You're magical. Do you want to use your magic for depression and sadness and grief and hostility and negativity? Or do you want to use your magic for love and light and joy and positivity? Choose. Choose, you guys. All right. So there you are. There's the mama talk. There's the, what does my son call it? There's the mom spiel. There's the mom spiel from me to all of you. And if you know people that need it, like, just intend that that the mom spiel and the energy that we're talking about and the message that we're delivering today, just intend it. Just see this like all going in a bubble, being contained in a bubble, and sending it over to whoever you know may need it with love. Just just imagine it all going to them in a bubble to wash them clean and to remind them of who they are and what truly makes us happy and where our power truly lies. Just envision this whole thing, what you see, the messages, the mom spiel, the vibration, everything, and just envision it capsulated in a bubble, and then envision that going to whoever you know that may need it. Anyway, there we have it. So, with one card, please and thank you, why are we not seeing any major arrests? So the world stage is playing out this big game of chess or whatever, and people know about the corruption. They know about there's more awareness of corruption now than there ever has been. Let me get a sip of my chicory. Okay, I can feel it in my heart. I can feel that I got out what I was meant to get out, because now I can feel. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but I always know when the message has been delivered, because there's a physical feeling that I get with that. So, anyways, back to this. Why is it that we're living in a world where the corruption is being exposed big time? Finally, because the corruption was always very well hidden for a long time. So how is it that we're living in the world where the corruption is being exposed big time, but we're not seeing major arrests? Can you start the story with one card, please? Why is it we're not seeing major arrests? I babbled so long about lifting vibration and not listening to the lies and not lying to ourselves and connecting into Creator and shifting gears and whatnot, that I don't think I'm going to get to the black goo piece of this, but I'll put that in the next reading, the next few questions around the black goo. So on the world stage, we're seeing the corruption is being divulged, and to me, that in itself is a positive. I've been awake a long time, and the corruption was hidden. So just the fact that you're seeing the corruption being revealed, that's a form of D-class, you guys. That in itself should make you happy. If you're basing happiness on what happens on the outside world, that in itself should make you happy that all of this corruption is being brought to the front so that everyone can see it. That's D-class. That's exactly what that is. That's D-class. But anyway, I'll get back to this. So we're seeing the corruption. The corruption's being exposed. Why aren't we seeing major arrests with judges and people high up in the political field and whatnot? So could you please just with one card start the story? With one card, please and thank you. Can you see? It's so dark. It's the Five of Pentacles, you guys. So why aren't you seeing arrests? You get the Five of Pentacles. So what does 5 represent? 5 represents great, great change. What does it represent the great change on? On the earth plane, because this is the Pentacles. So here on the earth plane, we are going through some great, great change through chaos. Through chaos. And so you're seeing the corruption. You're not seeing arrests because we're in the midst of great change. So that would be the cleaning up, right? So that would be the cleaning up phase, but we're in the middle of great change still with this number 5. So with the number 5 of Pentacles in this, my Deviant Moon deck, I'm sorry that you can't really see it. Nope, that doesn't help. And that's hot, so I'm not going to keep doing that. But, so anyways, this is a system card. So, works out perfectly, right? Because to me, this is a system. Why is it a system? Because in this deviant moon deck with the Five of Pentacles, you see the cross, right? The cross of Pentacles. So that to me represents like churches, religions. That's a system. But it also represents money, right? And so banking systems, everything runs off of money, the system, right? And you see it in this big like clock tower, which to me represents a building that's keeping its eye on all of us, right? That holds the power of the earthly goods, the earthly materials, that holds the power above our heads, because that cross is up above. So holds the power above our heads. So it's a systems card to me. And they're always watching us, right? But right now, because it's got the big eyeball there. But right now, people in the midst of this great change and this chaos, where we're seeing the corruption, are waking up. And they're starting to open up their sleepy little eyes. And they're starting to look at the systems. So we're in a phase of people are waking up and starting to see that they're seeing the corruption. Just because you and I all might have known about this corruption for a lot longer than many people, you have to figure a lot of people just started waking up in 2020. Some people started waking up in 2021 with the jabs. Some people have woken up after all of that, you know. So this D-class phase that we're in, where all of the corruption is being put out there, is actually getting people to kind of open up their sleepy little eyes and take a look at all of the systems. Now, just imagine for a minute if the population of our country weren't taking a look, if the biggest portion of our country isn't taking a look at the problems within these systems, and somebody just came in and started swooping up all of our congressmen and women, all of our judges, all of our governors and senators and, you know, ex-presidents, presidents' wives, and people were unaware of the corruption, they hadn't lived through the D-class piece of things, then they might think that we were being taken over by a dictatorship, which would immediately make them have horrific thoughts of, let's just use Hitler, who the Democrats tried to portray Trump as anyway. People would start thinking of what they've been told about Hitler. They would think about what they've been told about what happened in Germany. And we quite possibly would have had a civil war here, because there are enough people that are strong in their convictions of freedom. And though they might not be aware of how terrible things were under the surface, their convictions for freedom are strong. We have plenty of militias in this country. And I know people that belong to militias that aren't as awake as I am, okay? But they belong to militias because they believe in freedom. So if that started happening and they started seeing the systems being torn down in that way without having lived through the process of having all of this D-class given to them, we probably would have broken out in a civil war, you guys. So yeah, it's people waking up. We're going through D-class. People are waking up to all of the corruption and the power that's been held over our heads via these systems, and this chaos and this D-class is part of what's doing it. So it's showing the people what's been going on within the systems. People have to be shown. Like, you can't just drag somebody off and arrest them and say, well, because I say. There is also there has to be due process. That's freedom. We live in a free country. A case needs to be built so that it will actually stick and not be dismissed, right? So it's multifaceted, and something that big would have to be approved of by the majority of the people. So they have to see what's going on. So they have to be shown the chaos. They have to be shown the corruption. And the great change takes place via people wanting the change to take place. That way, nobody feels like their power was stolen from them. So now let's take a look at the rest of the story there. Please and thank you about arrests and about seeing it via the world stage. Because I think there's probably been arrests that you're just not seeing. But we have to go through the D-class phase of things. Okay, so let's get the rest of the story here, you guys. I've been on close to... I can't see worth a shit. I need new glasses so bad. I've probably been on an hour. So I'm just going to get a 7-card spread and then we're gonna end there. But this is change happening through the chaos. It's the great change here on the earth plane as far as the systems go and people being aware of what's been happening within all of these systems, right? So I feel like I need to cut these. Even if I did it already, I feel like it needs to be done again. So let's just see. Yeah, the Hierophant and Justice. So Justice is driving this whole reading. The Hanged Man is the enlightenment phase, the in limbo phase. Okay. Probably going to have to re-angle you. I am. So let me back you up. Enough, yeah. Can you guys see a little? I can't even. It's so dark, I can't even see if you guys can see the couch. No, you can't see him, I don't think. Anyway, he's sleeping sound. It's nice and warm down here. The wood's giving nice heat. So let me maybe back you up just so you can see. It's dark, I realize, but just so that you can see what cards I'm pointing to and how I'm getting the story. And I'll just tell you all the cards because you guys know I always do. But let's talk about the energy that is driving this entire reading. The energy that created the pathway, that creates the question, that creates the D-class, right? So that's creating this biggest pathway and that creates this story around it, all right? So we're going through the D-class phase of things, the great change, where people are being shown the power and the corruption that has been over their heads via these systems that we're talking about. Political systems, banking systems, the judges, all of it, law enforcement, all of it. So they're being shown that. So it's what I would call D-class. We're in the D-class phase. And the energy that's driving all of this, that makes you want to know the question, is justice. And that's a major arcana card, okay, you guys? And this is the Deviant Moon deck, as I have said. So that's the 8, that's the infinity symbol, that's abundance. So there will be an abundance of justice because that's what's driving everything. And the abundance of justice is coming in from God. That's that 8, that's the infinity. And he's standing there with both of his swords straight upright. They're directed straight up, which means everything that he's saying about why justice has to be served is absolutely spot on, correct. Nothing, no lies, no bullshit. Everything's perfectly in alignment. The vibration is honorable and true. And he has these swords pointed upward to God. He's pulling in a high vibration. So in other words, this justice isn't going to be served, you guys, because some corrupt asshole planted evidence on somebody that wasn't real, and now the vibration of that person being brought to justice is a very low negative one. No, the vibration of this justice is righteous, it's godly, okay? Does that make sense to you with those swords right up and all of that high vibration going up to God, the 8? Major Arcana card, don't forget, big picture, okay? So in this, he's in his black robe, so he's very, very grounded. He is very, very grounded. And so he's not flighty. He's a solid individual, okay? He's solid. He's grounded. He's high vibrational. He's connected to God. He's bringing truth and he's bringing justice. And he's showing you why. He's showing you that, there was all of these little monsters that were hidden. He's bringing them out for everyone to see, which goes in conjunction with this 5, people starting to look at where the corruption is. So he brings it forward and he shows you the ugliness, and he delivers the justice, okay? On his belt, he has a whole bunch of keys, and that means there's going to be different levels of justice. So are you going to see everybody swinging? No. Are you going to see everybody locked up? No. There's going to be different levels of justice. But I will tell you, on his belt, he has 4 keys. 3 of them are pretty long, and 1 of them is very short. So only a small majority of people will be. So you have 4 keys, 3 of them along. I'm trying to think of how to explain this to you guys, because it's very important with the reading for you to understand what justice is doing. Let me get more of my chicory here. The three long keys, these would be 3 different categories of long offenses, okay? So there's 3 different categories of long offenses. Justice has to show all of that to us, right? And then there's this other category, and the key isn't as long. So that's a small majority of people, but there's some, and so their offenses aren't as long, right? But they play an important role in this justice coming. So we don't really know who's done the long offenses. We don't know who's done the short offenses. We don't know what category different people are going to fall into. Sure, you know what you've been told. You know what you've been told by podcasters. You know what you've been told by other people. But you haven't witnessed it. So you don't actually know that any of this shit's true. You might even know what you've been told by Q. Maybe Q was giving us things to get us wound up so that we'd wake up to get into the fight. You just don't know because you just don't know. Because we haven't personally experienced it. And if we haven't personally experienced something or seen it with our own eyes, then we don't really know. So we don't know who are in what category and how long the list of offenses are or how justice is going to present itself. But we know that it's going to show us every single bit of it. And it's coming. For all of these different categories of offenses and all of the different people that may have been offending. Okay? So now that's driving our reading. So right now where we are right here, centered, we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man. Why haven't we seen arrests? Well, justice is saying there's probably already been, with the Hanged Man sitting right above justice, there's probably already been repercussions for some people. Some people have already been, let me just say it this way because it's going on YouTube. Some people have already been removed from the earth plane with this Hanged Man, okay? That's part of the message with the Hanged Man. The other part of the message is that we're sitting in a state of limbo where people have to be enlightened, right? Because the Hanged Man is hanging, and he's also hanging there being enlightened. So think of it this way. Some have already been taken care of. You just don't know it. It hasn't been made public knowledge. But right now we're going through a phase where the enlightenment process is happening. And this is to create a semblance of balance. So he's in a yoga pose. His legs are in the shape of a number 4. So that's doing work to create balance. So right now during the enlightening phase, the great change that's taken place, people are becoming enlightened. They're waking up to the corruption, the D-class. This is creating a semblance of balance here on the earth plane, right? So that justice can do what justice needs to do, okay? So while the work to create the balance is happening through the form of D-class, some things are happening in the background with the Hanged Man, and there have already been arrests, because that's what we're asking about. And probably even further than that, there have already been trials, and there have already been sentences, and some people have probably already been taken care of, okay? But there might be a percentage of people on the short key that maybe you don't even know about. Maybe you don't even know their names, right? But it's happening. Now don't forget that the Hanged Man is a 12. That breaks back into a 3, right? 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 is kind of in the shape of a woman's breast, so you always got to think about the nurture there, but it's also joy. It's the inner child. That's why it's in the shape of the woman's breast, because we feed our children. It's the inner child. It's that color yellow. It's joy. It's the solar plexus. And it's a high vibration. There's 2 really high vibrations in this world, love and joy. And they're the 2 highest, okay? So rejoice, you guys. We're going through a period where they're doing work to create balance, to bring enlightenment to people. But some have already been taken and dealt with, okay? That's right above justice. That's where we're at right now. At the very top, above the Hanged Man on our pathway, we come into the 2. All right, so why aren't there any arrests? Why aren't we seeing those arrests, right? We come up to that 2 of Pentacles, you guys. The 2 of Pentacles is a lower arcana card, obviously, but she really is, like, she's all about balance. The work to create balance is going up into her. 2 is all about balance, but she's imbalanced, okay? So right now, you're not seeing things because the world with these pentacles, the earth plane, the world, would be tipped sideways and certainly off kilter. It would affect our financial system, probably, our ability to take care of ourselves if this all happened at once. And I think that's because it would probably bring upon, if they weren't doing it in this way so that people got the D-class phase of things, it would bring on probably riots and civil unrest and destruction. So all of this is going upward into a phase where when we get to this 2, we'll be able to balance out those pentacles and people won't be lacking. So it's going to be a big deal. And if we did it too soon, somehow it would create an instability where people would end up lacking, okay? So we come up diagonally from Justice and we go into the Hierophant. And for me, in this card, that's another, that's a good card in this deck. So in my Rider deck, the Hierophant he's a baddie, okay? But I read intuitively, not traditionally. I read according to what I feel, literally feel, emotionally and physically, and what I see in these cards, and how my guides and I work together to get the message. So to me personally, in my Rider deck, the Hierophant's bad. But in this deck, in my Deviant Moon deck, the Hierophant's good. He's a man of great faith. And he's holding his faith during a time of great change and chaos. And he's incredibly passionate. He's very passionate because he's wearing the red. He's lined in gold, right? Gold represents our creator. So he's got the golden, trim around his robe. He has wings, so he's very gifted. He has a lot of gifts. He's very connected, very spiritual. He pulls light every day, and his sole purpose is saving people in a way that is best for them. He's sitting on that black and white checkerboard, right? Trying to figure out how to move to do the least amount of damage. Saving the children, right? So creating, and if you go up diagonally from him, what's he saving the children? Well, from a world that might be lacking if things aren't done just right. So it's not just about saving, he's got the little kid in his pocket. It's not just about saving the children in a way that most of you think, but the world has to be stabilized financially to also save children. Parents have to be able to, the world has to be stabilized so that these kids moving forward will have something to move forward into. Does that make sense, you guys? So the last thing we want is to destroy things here upon the earth plane so that people are in lack. And I mean, she looks good from the outside looking in. You might think she looks good, but she's not in good shape. She doesn't have enough. She's lacking, and things are very off balance, and she's unable, she herself personally is unable to just figure out how to live a little better, more frugally, and straighten it out, right? And it's because she lives in a world that's off balance. And with this great change, we need to create balance within the world so that no one's lacking. So everything has to be done in steps, right? So that we don't create a situation where war friggin' breaks out here and then our children don't have, then we're living here so war-torn and ravaged that the kids don't have anything. All right? So great change is taking place, but it's taking place in a way that creates a semblance of balance and where things aren't destroyed. Now, right above that Hierophant, we have the King of Cups. And the King of Cups can be a shithead, or he can be a really good guy. If he's a good guy, he's very empathic, and he shows you all of the stuff that's under the surface. Because with the King of Cups, everything comes up. Like, there's nothing that you can hide, right? And so we're going, and think about this, it's above the Hierophant. So we're going through a phase of great change, and the King of Cups above the Hierophant is going to reveal everything. All of this stuff is going to come up. It's all going to come up, you guys. In this King of Pentacles, there's the starfish sitting beside him, right, on the beach. And he's on a little island. He's not really on a beach. He's on this little tiny island out in the middle of the ocean. And so all around him, there's all of these emotions, and there's ships that are in the background, and they're riding the waves, right? And the moon is full, so the intuition is very strong. And the moon really affects the water, right? So it's riling it up. And the King of Cups he's raising his cup, and he knows that these feelings that he's going to allow to come up and be revealed might be hard, painful, hard. They might be. But he's got that starfish where he also knows that it's a necessary part for the transformation that star will bring, right? So this chaos and this D-class phase of things and what feels like sitting in limbo is it's necessary. Things have to rise up in a particular way so that transformation can happen, so that we don't end up in a place of lack. All right, so that there's not a destruction here on the earth plane. Now, across from the Hierophant, you have the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is really good. She's a loving, loving person. As a rule, okay? As a rule, very loving person, mother figure, cares for children. but we're looking at a card about arrests, and we're looking at a card reading the question about arrests and particular people in power, all right? And the Hierophant is saying, you know, he's working his ass off in prayer to do things in the right way. The empath is above, raising his toes, showing what's out there, knowing it's going to create a flood of emotions, but knowing it has to be done in a particular way to ignite the change, the transformation with the star. That we have to go through a little bit of work to create some balance in a bit of a limbo phase so that the world doesn't go off kilter and things like war and destruction and a lack thereof, whatever. Not a war like our military, but like a civil war where people end up in lack, right? Where people go out and do things. So all of this stuff has to be done with caution and measure and just right. And so we're in the D-class phase. That helps to keep the balance, that helps to work to create balance, that brings forward the reveals, that wakes people up and enlightens them. And right across from our Hierophant, we've got that Queen of Pentacles. So kids are being saved. There are kids out there being saved. Justice is seeing to it. This is present day. This is present day, you guys. And justice is seeing to somebody's out there saving kids right now in the moment. Somebody is saving them from really bad people that were going to do really bad things to them with that Two of Cups. So this is my good. She could be really bad if she's set up in a particular way, but she's not. She's set up in a way where you see she's the nurturer, she's the caregiver, she's the queen of Pentacles. So she's doing things here on the earth plane to care for children. Right now, as we're asking about why aren't there arrests, justice is doing something in this moment to care for children, whether you see it or not. And I would say in this moment, I'm taking it quite literally. And above that, you have this Two of Cups. And in this deck, it's real creepy. You have this really bad skeleton dude with a tail. And he backs people into corners. He uses women. He is right above the children. So he uses women and children. He uses young women, right? Backs them into a corner. It's very, very bad. The things that he does to people makes them feel sick. He particularly likes people with gifts. Her hair is all lit up. So kids are very psychic, as you know. He particularly likes gifted people. And he does things. He trips them up. He backs them into corners. He makes them not feel good. He feeds them poison. Right? And you can assume there's blood on the floor here. You can assume that's the spilt cups. So you can think maybe that might be the adrenochrome word. So as we're worrying about justice being served, they want us to know, because justice is here serving it. He goes directly up. Justice is here. You're in the limbo phase. You might not know it, but justice is here. Justice is making sure its case is well put together. And justice is already serving to save children from baddies. And this is going to be part of the emotional turmoil that comes up that helps to transform people, but it's going to be more of the D-class. So, in other words, it's happening, but it's not happening so that you can see it. It's happening on God's time, because God rules this justice. It's happening on God's time. It's happening in the background, and it's happening. It's going to happen because it's feeding everything. And so you will eventually see it, but it's being done in a way where everything is done perfectly. And for whatever reason, you can't see it right now, because if you could see it all right now, then justice wouldn't still be being able to continue to save kids from particular people. So I would say there's still people blowing the whistle. There's still rounding up evidence on people. They've taken care of some of it, but they're still going after certain people doing certain things with kids. And so that's just how it is right now. That's just how it is. We're going through great change. And so we're not going to see it necessarily in the way that you would like to with these bigger, higher up arrests. But they're saying that shit is happening. And this is all part of the D class. So how did I do? Did I get the entire message through to the best of my ability? How did I do? Please and thank you. One more card. One more shuffle. And then I'll cut them, you guys. There's another story they're going to tell. Yeah, no, that goes there. This comes here. Got me confused there for a minute. Oh, geez, there's a lot more they want to tell. Let me pick this all up, please, and thank you. Okay, I've been on here a long time. Sorry, guys, this is going to be a long reading. But there's more to it. So with the 5, we've got more great change. That's big people having power over little people. And then we've got here the 9, a cycle ending. Lift your head, stop being depressed, look for what's blooming. So I'm going to let them talk off of each one of those. They want to say more. We can't say too much more, you guys, because this will take forever to upload. And I need to be able to use my phone. And I can't really use it when it's uploading. So, and plus my battery's probably going low this long of filming. So I'm going to start. I'm going to pull 3 more cards off of this 9, the ending of cycles. I'll shuffle again, and then I'll pull 3 more cards off of this 5. I'll let you guys finish saying whatever it is that you want to say. And then I'll check in and see how I did about all of these messages. And then if you want to say more, that's going to have to wait until the next time we come on. I'm setting my boundary. All right, so let's cut them. Oh, and here we go. We want that card. Here we go. All right, before I read that, I'm going to just get these ones laid first. So we're going to shuffle them again. That feels good. Now we're going to cut them. Let me get a sip of my chicory. And that wants to flip. And major arcana cards. Oh my God. That's all 3 major arcana. Okay, you guys. So what do they want to say? They want to say, we got to lift our heads up, okay? The old cycle is ending, trust in it. Something new is blooming. Lift your head up and look. They want to say right now with this 7, like, seek the knowledge, seek the truth. Right now you're seeking lies, and the thoughts that you're having and the words that you're speaking and the messages that you're getting are damaging. You're only getting a little tiny bit of truth, but even that is skewed. And so you're focused on information that is actually hurting you. So this is for someone or all of us. It's always for all of us, but maybe someone in particular really, really needs to hear this, right? And we can all stand to hear it, but somebody might really, really need to hear it with these damaging swords. So the depression is because we're not looking for what's bloomed. We're not looking for the good stuff. And there is good stuff happening. I know that some of the stuff that I've gotten has been like, nothing is happening. Well, that's not true. There's stuff happening. There's stuff happening. We're going through that D-class phase. Trump just called out the UK, and, you know, we got shit happening in Venezuela, and, you know, Trump's just working to bring the classification of marijuana down so that it's not treated like a, you know, one of those higher scheduled drugs, so that, I mean, my God, there's so much. I can't even think of it all, honestly. I can't think of everything right now. Things are getting signed in the cryptocurrency world. Jobs are coming in, coming in. God, there's a lot of exposure. Like, there's so many good things happening. I just don't understand why people don't think that there is. And it's because they're focusing on the wrong thing with this 9. And they're listening to words, and they're having thoughts, and they're listening to information that's not true and meant to damage them. So go higher, seek God's word with that 7. Seek a higher knowing and knowledge. Step into the Queen of Wands. You can either step into being the Queen of Wands, which you then manifest your own reality with your own vibration. You know, you can step into being that. And that's really the message. Shift the vibration, come into being that high priestess. Balance yourself out. Because right now there's too much depression, not enough looking at good stuff, and listening to too much bullshit and lies. So it's time to step into being in your own power and lifting your frequency high with this high priestess. I mean, she vibrates super freaking high. So the universe is saying lift your vibration and pull in some balance. So you would stop looking at all of this bullshit and all of this stuff that's depressing, and the balance would be you would seek deliberately the good stuff, and you would choose to step into your magical self as that Queen of Wands. Now, as far as this 5 great change going on, for a long time there's been people that have had power over little people that have done bad things and hurt these little people, okay? And there's a great change going on with that. They want you to remember justice is coming, and justice is being served for the little people, to really get the baddies, all the baddies, moving forward. Okay? So we want to move forward, having gotten all of these people and bringing them to justice. You have to move forward, bringing all of these people to justice. And right now, we're in the end phase where we are taming. We're looking into the belly of the beast. That's my best way of saying it with this strength card, right? So we've got the beast, and we're looking into the belly of the beast, but the beast still has a little strength, and he's got his tail around our ankle. So we have to let this process go in the way that it needs to go. So until there's no tail around the ankle, you may not see justice be served, but justice is reigning, and you will see it moving forward. But right now, some of these people that would do bad things to people and littler people or weaker people, think of human trafficking on every level, okay? For every single thing. There's organ harvesting, there's sex trafficking, there's adrenochrome, there's all sorts of human trafficking. Hurting people, taking people's power, and hurting people that are weaker than them or can't defend themselves. So that's not just children, that's on every level, men and women, every victims everywhere. And so we're ending this cycle. Right now we're going through the chaos and the great change of it as justice reigns and moving forward. But right now, this great change is still in a cycle where we're ending it with that. We're ending it. We're looking into that belly of that beast, but we got to make sure that that beast can't trip us up. So they've got to take it down in all of its multifaceted layers, okay? And that's what strength does. We're stronger than the beast. Strength has this guy. And as long as he doesn't look away and keeps his eyes focused and holds his endurance, he's got this. Now, he's definitely got this because above him, to both sides of him, you have major arcana cards, good ones, Justice and the Chariot for moving forward. So right now, great change is happening. We've got the beast. We're looking into the belly of the beast, and we're going to make damn sure that that beast can't trip us up as we bring justice moving forward. Okay? So they're assuring us and they're telling us, don't listen to all of this stuff that's making you, the information is crazy making, damaging information. Stop being down in the doldrums. Start actively seeking the good stuff and focus on that. Step into your power as the Queen of Wands and really pull your vibration up with this major arcana card. So they're giving you the High Priestess with two cards that are showing ungreat things. Your mind is doing damage. You're depressed because of things that aren't working, and you're not picking your head to see the life of the things that are blooming. So our homework is to deliberately seek out good things rather than all of this bullshit, and to step into our power and be that Queen of Wands and lift our vibration extraordinarily so, because the high priestess vibes so high that she's almost uncomfortable in her own body because she's vibing so high. She went there so quick. So she has to she opened her gift so quick. So she has to literally work to create a more balanced way of being, grounding into the earth, continue to ground so that she can balance the energies. So anyway, that's what I'm getting. So that's as far as I can go today. We've been on here quite a while. I need to get off. It's after 7. So if there's anything more that you want to talk about in regards to justice and all of that stuff, we can do that the next time, along with the black goo stuff. But now what I want to know, as the energy stands right now with the messages, the technically 4 messages, because I got the 1 card, the 7 card spread, and now these 2 messages. Have I delivered the message in a way that in the best way to my human abilities via these cards, as to what the universe sees is very important to have people here today as the energy stands. How did I do? Please and thank you. And then I'll ask, after we find out that, I'll ask if you feel the need to continue these conversations at a later date, and we will do that at a later date if you really want to. But first, the messages that I've gotten through so far. Are you satisfied with how I delivered them? Please and thank you. All right, let's cut them. Five. Great change. Great change. What in the hell? Damn it, you guys. You can't keep doing this to me. There's something blooming. I've brought the energy forward. All this change. Oh my God, look at this. So we've got 5, 5, 5. And then I think what they're telling you guys, is that things are going to shift sooner than you think. So Great change again with this 5 of rods and the physical. Like you're seeing the chaos right now. You're not seeing what's blooming, but what you don't understand is that something's already come in from a higher, from up high, and it's crumbling this foundation of what you're not liking. The higher perspective, more and more people see it than you think. And the words out there right now are just created to do a lot of damage, lots of like lies, but it's actually part of the bigger picture of what's hurrying things along. There's a lot of integrity right now. They know it feels like we're skating on thin ice, you guys, but we're really not. They want you to know we're really not. There's safeguards in place. The safeguards are in place of people waking up. The safeguards are in place of the system. The systems, the earthly systems that we rely on for our money, our groceries, our earthly pleasures have been safeguarded. The whole thing is coming down though. You're just hearing a bunch of distractions. You're not hearing about the actual integrity of how this system is actually crumbling right now. So you're just being distracted with stuff. But hold yourself in that love vibration, because with this Ace of Cups, we're already birthing something new, much more loving, much better. So they want you to know as though that even though we've just read on all of this and everything that you think and the story that's unfolded, that this whole deck of cards is coming down already. It's just that it's being done from a place up high enough so that nothing crumbles. There's safeguards in place for all of us, but you know, all of this stuff that you're waiting to see happens already begun. It's just not finished, but there's already been enough that's happened. Like, they're trying to tell you that you're seeking for something that's already happening. And I know that you get tired of hearing that it's already happening in the background. They want you to know that this has already begun. There are people with integrity that have already started tearing down these systems, the judges, the politicians. It's all coming down. It's just being done in a way where it's waking people up and people can see the corruption and the power. It is chaos. It's great change through chaos, but they want you to know that it's already bloomed. Something else has already bloomed. And all of this information and this noise making, you know, that's causing people to get up in their heads and feel a particular way, you know, that's all just a distraction, because there are people with integrity holding their swords up that are actually like working this to pull this whole deck of cards down. And though it may seem sketchy, you might feel like we're on thin ice and nothing's happened. The reason why you're feeling that way is because the journey to get here a lot of thought was put into it, tentatively put into it, to make sure that even though the ride feels scary or the journey feels scary, there's safeguards. It's always going to keep us afloat above the water, so that to stop us from drowning. Where? In our earthly pleasures section. So you might be wanting to see things happening in the judicial system, but the way everything is flowing has to flow in this way so that our systems keep running, so that we don't end up without. Everything's been safeguarded to keep the people safe, the people. So if you took all of the justices out of the system, or all of the politicians out, or all of the banksters out, or whatever, if everything happened too fast, we'd fall. But this is all being done in a way that's safeguarded. And it's already beginning. It's already begun. We've birthed new things with this Ace of Cups. Like, stay in that love vibration. Know that we're beginning the new phase of things. We just have to get through. It just has to be done in the way that it's being done. It just, you know, and they've told us this before. So now that you've reassured us that we're safe and that, you know, we might seem like we're in sketchy times, but we're really not. Everything's safeguarded. And all of this stuff is meant to distract you and get you upset. Don't let it. Know that we've got this. Things are coming down from the top down, okay? And so that would make sense as to, like, there's still some little beasts out there, and they want to make sure that can't trip anybody up. So it's happening from the top down, you guys. from the top down. So a lot of what you're seeing or hearing, it's just an illusion. It's just an illusion, all right? Meant to keep you distracted and to keep the fighting going so that people start, to keep it going so that people are more looking at this system with all of this great change. It gets people waking up. The change comes through the wake up, through the seeing, through the D class. But it's all coming from the top down, and that's why there's still people out there looking into the belly of the beast. Looks to me like they're telling you all of the big guns are being handled. They've been handled or they're being handled. So keep your vibes high. Don't allow yourself to be distracted. Okay, so now I'm ending, you guys. I'm serious. I'm friggin' ending. So I just want to know these messages so far. I'm not going to talk anymore. That's not happening. This will take like 3 hours to upload if I do. It's going to take 3 hours or better already, probably. So with these messages, have I delivered them okay? Please and thank you. That card. I got a yes with the one that wants to fall. And then I always pick from the top, even though one wants to fall. Okay, we will end with that. Okay, I understand. All right, so yes, I've done a good job delivering these messages. The last thing they want to say is, people, rejoice. Okay, rejoice, because all of this stuff that's getting you upset and uptight and wound up and breaking your hearts, it's all a show. It's all a show. And you're falling victim to what's happening on the world stage. And the world stage is doing what? The world stage is revealing the dark and the light right now. And so what's happening is falling victim to all of this stuff going on the world stage. You're allowing your vibration to come down. You're allowing negative things to bring your vibration down. And you're not paying attention to the truth that's going through the heart here. You're paying attention to the lies. And these words that you're hearing, all of these words with these swords being said and whatnot on the world stage, as shitty as they are, they're being done with integrity to manipulate people into waking people up. So half the shit that you're hearing, whether the white hat side of things or the dark hat side of things or Fox News or ABC News or whatever you're hearing, it's all being done with intention and purpose. And it's done with lies, it's done with honor, but there's stuff out there with manipulative intention and purpose. And this is not for you. It's all part of the D-class exposure of the good and the bad on the world stage with this media card. Okay? So we got to pull ourselves out of this vibration, you guys. Yes, I've delivered it, but pull yourself out of... How about ignore the world for a while? Just ignore the news. Ignore the back channels. Ignore the front channels. Ignore what's going on in Hollywood. Ignore what's going on in the judges' quarters. Ignore what's going on at the press conferences. And just work to pull your vibration up, because all of this stuff is really not, it's not meant for the awakened people. It's a show. So with that being said, 3 shuffles. I don't know if that was 3 or not. Bam. Finally. Freaking done. Ah! All right, guys. So the Empress also, remember, secondary message isn't just that, yes, completed the healing message. Rejoice. Heal thyself, right? Stand in that joy, heal yourself, and lift your vibration. Get outside, connect to nature, and realize that you're living in a world where there's a lot of blossoms, but there's a lot of thorns, you guys. It's just, it is what it is. And start looking for the blossoms. But you're living in a world where all of the thorns are being exposed right now. It's D-class. So heal yourself by being in joy, and don't pay attention to the media, and don't pay attention to the words, and don't pay attention to the chaos. Get back to what's important. Connecting with God, move forward in God's energy as you move forward, and lift your vibration really, really high with that high priestess. Pull in some joy, work on yourself, shift your attitude, know that we've got this. They're taking everything down from the top down. So the little minions have to be caught. Justice is working to serve its magic. There's a lot of facets to what has to happen. They're trying to keep the world intact while this does happen. Justice has been being served, whether you know it or not. Oh God, what else was there? There was so much. There was so much. There was so much. I can't remember it all. All I know is that I love all of you guys, and I hope that you got some value out of this. I'm going to have to listen to it. There was a lot of message in there, because I'm already forgetting a lot of what was said. But I do know that it was all around arrests, us seeing arrests, and that we're in the D-class phase, but that it's been happening from the top down already in the background. And just don't pay attention to all this crap that's bringing your vibration low. Connect to source. If you connect into source, you can't feel bad. You really can't. And you'll get your information. You'll get your knowing from a place of a higher knowing. And you won't worry so much about what's going on the world stage with that media card. So anyways, I don't know, long-winded reading. I love you all so much. I hope that the pep talk and the intentions and the reminders and the energy and the reading have all served to help any of you that may have been feeling really, really down, to remind yourself not to allow yourself to be whispered to by these voices that would keep you down. That's the biggest lie of all. And if you know people that need that, just see the mom spiel, see the reading, see the candles, see the stones, see the atmosphere, see healing vibrations, see this entire message wrapped up in a big protective bubble, and send it from your mind's eye. Connect a cord from your mind's eye to the bubble, and from your heart center to the bubble, and send that out to whoever you think needs it personally, and maybe just send it out to encompass the whole world. And because we don't know how many people are standing in depression right now, being manipulated by negative energies. We don't know. So you might have a friend or somebody that you do know personally, but maybe you send it out to them and end the world, because we just don't know. We just don't know. I know even the amount of messaging and emails that I get regarding all this, I'm just a small channel here. We're a very small community, and I'm only getting a little bit, seeing a little bit, which feels like a lot to me, because I'm just one person, right? To see it all it can be very heavy. I have to work really hard to transmute all of that after being bombarded with it. That's just a small percent. So like, there's probably a lot of other people that somehow just went, because not long ago we saw that people were in the joy vibration, and all of a sudden, boom, they plummeted. But I'll tell you, that comes from being joyful about something from outside of yourself, because you can pull yourself up into joy, but then as soon as the endorphins are gone, boop, you're back down again. So everybody was joyful a little bit ago, and now we've seen this plummeting of energy. So people got to start feeling themselves from inside. So something made people happy, brought them up, and now they've dropped again. And, oh, that's my palette stove beeping. I've got to fill it. So let's send out a lot of love and a lot of healing in this energy and this message to the world, if you'll all participate in that. I know I'm going to. I always do anyway. And let's see everybody cleansed and cleared and healed and loved, and all of the negative energy just pulled right away from them and absorbed and turned back into the white light. And yeah, let's do what we can as empaths and light workers and people with good intentions and loving hearts to try to help shift some vibration for some people. But happiness has to come from within, because you'll get the highs and then the lows. It's got to come from within, and I swear, it's so easy if we tap into God and pull light. It's so easy to change everything. Open the heart, love that inner child, wrap that little inner child in love, warmth, and a blanket, and watch that little inner child grow up and heal, and open the heart to love for ourselves and all, and love our enemies, and just. And people say it's hard. It's really not that hard. You don't have to like your enemies, but you can love them. It's really not that hard when you're connecting to our Creator every single day and pulling in more and more of that Creator's light and igniting your own spark of light within. All right, I've got to go. That's beeping. I've been on here a long time. I love you all. Have a beautiful, 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 blessed day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.